Before the orange hoodie became the hottest merch in WNBA history, it was just a regular piece of gear that nobody really wanted. What came next was an unprecedented moment in viral grassroots fashion. This is a story of how these threads came to be. In December of 2019, Kobe and Gianna Bryant sat courtside in the Staples Center. This would be the last public photo of them. They each rocked a huge grin as they leaned into one another. And Kobe rocked a bright orange hoodie with the WNBA's logo on the chest. That wasn't the beginning of the story of the WNBA hoodie, but it was the moment that made it a phenomenon.
And of course, once Kobe wore it, then it just turned into like a fashion phenomenon. Like you weren't anybody important unless you had the orange hoodie.
That's Eb Jones, former WNBA head of content and influencer strategy. Or to put it simply, she's the one who made the orange hoodie a thing. When she arrived in February of 2019, her task was to grow brand recognition for the W.
My initial goals were really just to better the relationship between the league and the players, and then also make the league cool again and make a better splash like culturally. And to me was of course through merch, because you know us, we're fashion people. It's like what you're wearing is like part of your identity.
The biggest problem was that the league didn't produce its own merch. It had licenses and partnerships, including one with the sports merchandise company Fanatics. So instead of making something new, Jones had to look through the catalog of already available options on Fanatics and search for something that could stand out in a new campaign. She wanted something gender neutral and inclusive with a pop of color, something that both players and fans would want to wear.
Yeah, like why is everything on the website bedazzled or pink? Like especially with the type of women that are in this league.
Despite some reservations about promoting a sweatshirt for a summer sport, Jones was drawn to the orange hoodie with the league's new logo. She sent hoodies to every team during the All-Star break that season, and Aces star Asia Wilson was the first player to be seen rocking the new look.
She wore it courtside the first game after All-Star, and like literally fans blew up. It was so funny because there's like players like tweeting, Asia, where'd you get that hoodie from? What is going on? So once she did that, the fans were on board, the players were on board, and then it was just me doing grassroots like seeding, because I had no influencer marketing budget. So I remember when this first started, there were people like tweet like, oh, they must have paid that player to wear that. No, I don't have no budget. We don't have the money to pay anybody to wear nothing. We barely got money to send out these hoodies.
Which brings us back to Kobe. Jones had given him a couple of bags of merch when he visited the league offices in October, and Kobe was eager to show some love to the W.
Never thought he would wear it in a million years. And then 2 months later, December, courtside, he shows up in the orange hoodie, and I'm on vacation across the world. I'm in Australia. So like, I'm not even on the right time zone, and my phone is blowing up in the middle of the night on Australia. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? They're like, hey, do you see Kobe in a hoodie or not?
After that, it was madness. Celebrities, athletes, musicians, everybody wanted to get their hands on the hoodie.
It became a status thing for a little while for people to be wearing the hoodie.
I think it's just a statement piece, especially with the bright orange, and it didn't have to really say much. There's no words on it. It's just the logo. I think that pretty much just said it all. Like, it was dope to drop this one.
It was just such a dope campaign. You saw Lil Wayne, like NBA players, obviously Kobe, like the orange hoodie was the thing to have to show that, you know what I'm saying, you with the W. And as this league continues to grow, you want to get with it, honey.
I think it just had its own shape and form and took its own power. And look what happened with it. You know, these things sometimes blow up in a good way. And I believe that that's what happened. It's a nice logo. It's beautiful color. It's different. You know, you don't see orange as a common color very often in sports. And so it really stood out. And I think everybody got behind it. So it was the perfect storm of good.
The orange hoodie would go on to become the best-selling item in WNBA history. Thanks to pandemic supply chain issues and modest manufacturer expectations, supply couldn't even come close to meeting the demand. As soon as it was restocked, it would immediately sell out again.
It will forever be the number one. I'm just going to put that on the map. It will forever be the number one selling W merch album ever in history.
For a while, the hoodie was the best-selling item on Fanatics across all sports. Demand was so high that even WNBA legends were trying to get their hands on it.
The first All-Star in Vegas, I definitely was known as a merch lady, and it got around really, really fast. And I'm coming off the elevator. I'm like late for a shoot. I'm like trying to run across the MGM. As soon as I get off the elevator, it's Cheryl Swoops. And mind you, like I grew up OD stan, Cheryl Swoops stan. So I'm like, this is my first time meeting her. And she's like, hey, like she literally like in my face, like, hey girl, I heard you the one to talk to about the merch. How Cheryl Swoops ain't get no merch.
I do remember having that conversation, and I was like, listen, I need some swag. Because the stuff that she was making and putting out and people were wearing and I was seeing on social media, I was like, that's definitely something that I would rock. And she hooked me up. Did she tell you that she hooked me up?
The record-breaking popularity of the hoodie was a result of the grassroots influencer campaign and the star power of the celebs seen with the hoodie. But that's not all it was. The hoodie also symbolized something a lot deeper.
When people are really connected to something and connected to an item, and it's more than just about what you're wearing, but that you're symbolizing something, it's always going to have a bigger impact. Now it's a symbol of just like supporting women in general.
It's an orange hoodie. It has the logo on it. That's it, right? It's so simple. But I think, to me, when you see that, it immediately represents like strength in numbers and the women being different and not afraid to stand out.
In particular in the bubble, it came to stand for something because the women in the league and the way they were speaking out on behalf of social justice issues, it stood for so much more than just a professional league. You wore it and felt like I am on the right side of something.
We're always ahead of the game, just, you know, if it's talking about social injustices or equality, just everything, you know, we're always vocal with it. We say we all move as one. So it's definitely special, you know, be a part of a league like this.
I think that became kind of a rallying cry, that the women took on really hard, important topics. And, you know, you can't walk around with a basketball to be your flag, but to use the colors of that basketball, the orange and the white, and to use the logo in its silhouette form was a spark of genius, I think. That became the rallying flag for the WNBA and all the things that were happening at that time. And I think that just caught fire.
WNBA players are gaining more visibility as viewership and interest in the league continues to grow. And the orange hoodie is still a powerful symbol. To Jones, the takeaway is very clear.
Stop second guessing the power that women have, because if you do something simple, if you do something that is just makes everybody feel good and put money behind women in that right, that it's going to be successful.